Imagine this. It's 1:47 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago. You've rewritten your reply in your head 12 different ways. You're debating what you should have said, what they might be thinking, and what this means about you as a person. You're exhausted, but your brain refuses to clock out. If that feels uncomfortably familiar, this video is for you. Overthinking feels like being responsible, like you're preparing for every possibility. But most of the time, it isn't preparation, it's mental noise. It drains your energy, kills your confidence, and still doesn't give you certainty. In this video, we're going to use one question, a single simple question that slices right through that noise. Not a journal full of prompts, not a 50-step morning routine, just one question you can use in real time in the middle of the spiral to get unstuck. Let's start by exposing what overthinking is really costing you. Most people underestimate how expensive overthinking really is. It doesn't just waste time. It burns mental energy you could be using to actually live. It slows your decisions, makes you doubt your instincts, and turns small choices into emotional marathons. In this video, we'll break that cycle by giving you one core question you'll be able to use for the rest of your life. We'll unpack why it works, how your brain responds to it, and walk through real examples. Work, relationships, late-night spirals, and those "what if I ruin everything" decisions. If you care about self-growth, mental clarity, and actually feeling present in your own life, you're in the right place. And if you're new here, consider subscribing and tapping the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming deep dives like this. Stay with me until the end, because I'll also give you a simple daily habit that hardwires this question into your brain. Let's start with what overthinking really is. Overthinking isn't just thinking too much, it's thinking in circles. It's your brain trying to solve emotional uncertainty with logical repetition. You go over the same information, what was said, what might happen, every possible outcome, but you never reach a conclusion that feels safe enough to rest. Psychologically, overthinking is usually a mix of anxiety, perfectionism, and a fear of regret or rejection. Your brain thinks, if I can just examine this from every angle, I can guarantee I won't get hurt or make a mistake. So it spins, and spins, and spins. The problem? Most of what you obsess over lives outside your control. Other people's reactions, the future, imagined scenarios. That's why you can't think your way out using the same loop that trapped you. So we need a pattern interrupt, something that cuts through the spiral and forces your brain to separate what's helpful from what's pure noise. That's where the one question comes in. Here's the question that cuts through overthinking. Is this within my control or just within my concern? That's it. Simple, but not shallow. When you're spiraling, your brain mixes two very different categories into one emotional soup. 1. Things you can actually influence. 2. Things you desperately care about but cannot directly control. When you ask this question, you force your mind to sort. You pull your attention out of the imaginary and into the practical. If something is within your control, great, that's your to-do list. If it's only within your concern, you're allowed to care. But rumination will never change it. The only healthy options become acceptance, boundaries, or strategic preparation, not endless mental replay. Throughout this video, we'll apply this question to real situations so it becomes automatic. First, let's understand why your brain is so obsessed with things it can't control in the first place. Your brain loves loops for one reason. They create the illusion of control, worry, and rumination. Feel productive because you're mentally busy. You're rehearsing, predicting, planning. That activity tricks your nervous system into thinking you're doing something about the threat, even when you aren't. Evolution wired us to scan for danger. But in the modern world, danger is usually social, emotional, or long-term. What if they're mad at me? What if I chose the wrong career? There's no tiger to run from, so the brain runs simulations instead. Here's the catch. Your brain doesn't naturally distinguish between what you can influence and what you can't. It treats them all as potential problems to solve. That's why the question, is this within my control or just within my concern, is so powerful. It installs a sorting filter your brain never came with. Before we use it, we need a clear picture of what control actually means. Most people use control way too broadly. They'll say, I can control how people see me if I just act perfectly, or I can control the future if I plan enough. That's not control, that's fantasy. Here's a cleaner definition. Control equals your direct actions, words, and efforts in the present moment. Influence equals things you can gently nudge but never fully command. Concern equals things that matter to you but are ultimately outside your hands. When you're overthinking, you usually blend all three. Using our question, we separate them. Is this within my control or just within my concern? You're late to a meeting and stuck in traffic. Concern, being judged. Control, how you communicate and drive now. You sent a risky text. Concern, their reaction. Control, your honesty, boundaries, and how you respond. Next, I'll give you a quick visual exercise, the circle method, that makes this separation incredibly clear on paper. Grab a piece of paper. Draw 3 circles like a target. Inner circle, control. Middle, influence. Outer, concern. Now think of something you're overthinking right now. Maybe it's a job decision, a conversation, or a mistake you made. Write specific items into each circle. Inner circle, control. Actions you can take in the next 72 hours. Ask a question. Schedule a meeting. Apologize. Clarify expectations. Research options. Middle circle. Influence. Things you can affect, but not command. Your reputation over time. Your team's mood. A client's trust. Outer circle. Concern. Everything else. The economy. Your company's future. Other people's private thoughts. Now step back and look. Overthinking usually lives in that outer ring, concerns masquerading as responsibilities. When you feel yourself spiraling, you don't need the full drawing. Just mentally ask, which circle does this belong to? Control or concern? If it's concern only, we respond very differently. Let's see how this plays out in big decisions. Big life decisions are overthinking magnets. Changing careers, moving cities, starting or ending relationships. You want absolute certainty, no regret, no risk. And because that doesn't exist, your brain loops. Here's where the question becomes a decision tool. Say you're torn between 2 job offers, your concerns. What if I choose wrong and hate it? What if this company collapses? What if I disappoint people? Ask, is this within my control or just within my concern? You can't control future market shifts, unknown company politics, other people's opinions. You can control how much research you do, which values you prioritize, the questions you ask during interviews, how you plan for worst-case scenarios. So instead of looping what if, you build a concrete action list from the control side. Do the research, ask the questions, set a review date. Once you've taken those actions, further rumination is pure noise. You've done your part. The rest lives in concern, not control. Relationships generate some of the loudest overthinking. Did I sound weird? Are they mad at me? Did I ruin everything? Let's take a common scenario. You sent a message. They left you unread. Your concern, they secretly hate me now. I sounded needy. They're talking about me with other people. Ask, is this within my control or just within my concern? You cannot control their immediate emotional reaction. How quickly they reply, what they say about you when you're not there. You can control. sending a clear, respectful follow-up after a reasonable time, clarifying your intentions if something might have been misunderstood, how you speak to yourself while you wait. The question doesn't numb you, it redirects you. Instead of performing panic in your head, you focus on being the kind of person you're proud of, honest, clear, and self-respecting. Their response belongs to them. Your behavior belongs to you. That separation is where peace begins. Late at night, your brain loves to drag out a highlight reel of every mistake you've ever made. You replay that awkward comment from years ago, the opportunity you missed, the exam you failed, the person you hurt. When you're half asleep, your defenses are down, so the spiral feels especially convincing. This is where the question becomes a boundary. Is this within my control or just within my concern? Past events, concern only. You cannot re-enter the moment and edit it, but there is a control side hidden in there. You can apologize or make amends if appropriate. You can learn and set a new standard for how you act now. You can choose what story you tell yourself about that event. So when a memory attacks you at 2 a.m., answer it. I can't control the past. I can control what I do tomorrow. Then redirect. Write down one small corrective action for the morning and give yourself permission to rest. Perfectionism and fear of regret are gasoline for overthinking. You tell yourself, I have to make the right choice, say the perfect thing, find the best path. Anything less feels like failure, so your brain tries to outthink imperfection. It hunts for a decision with no downside, no risk, no vulnerability. That decision doesn't exist. Use the question here. Is this within my control or just within my concern? You cannot control every future variable. How you'll feel about something 10 years from now. Other people's shifting standards. You can control. Acting in alignment with your values. Today, doing good enough research instead of infinite research. Choosing a direction and committing to learning as you go. Overthinking promises safety. In reality, it only guarantees stagnation. The question pulls you out of fantasy safety and back into real responsibility. Doing the best you reasonably can with the information and resources you have now. A question is only powerful if it leads to action. Otherwise, it becomes just another thing to overthink. So after you ask, is this within my control or just within my concern? Follow it with a micro step. If it's control, what is the smallest meaningful action I can take in the next 10 minutes? Examples: overthinking a presentation. Control, outline one key point or rehearse the opening. Overthinking fitness. Control, fill a water bottle, lay out your clothes, do 5 push-ups. Overthinking a conflict. Control, draft a message you might send without pressure to send it yet. Your goal isn't to fix everything, it's to shift from spinning to moving. Action sends a signal to your nervous system. We're not helpless. That alone reduces anxiety. Once you've taken a step, you can reassess. But no more sitting in the mental waiting room when the door is unlocked. To make this question truly life-changing, it has to become automatic. Something your brain reaches for before the spiral gets loud. Here's a simple daily habit. Once a day, preferably in the evening, do a 2-minute control scan. Step 1. Write down one thing you're currently overthinking. Step 2. Underneath, answer in 2 columns. Control. List 1 to 3 specific actions. Concern. List everything else you're worried about. Step 3. Circle one action from the control column and schedule it for tomorrow. That's it. 2 minutes. By repeating this, you train your brain to sort automatically during the day. Over time, you'll catch yourself mid-spiral and think, wait, control or concern? That moment of awareness is the exit ramp. Next, we'll quickly recap the core ideas so you can remember and use them without needing to rewatch this entire video. Let's lock this in. Overthinking isn't just thinking a lot, it's thinking in circles, chasing certainty you can never fully have. Your brain does this to feel safe and prepared, but it ends up burning energy on things you can't change. The one question that cuts through the noise is this within my control or just within my concern? Control equal your present actions, words, and efforts. Concern equal everything you care about but cannot directly command. Other people's reactions, the past, the distant future. When you separate the two, three things happen. 1. Anxiety drops because you stop pretending to control the uncontrollable. 2. Clarity rises because you see your actual responsibilities. 3. Momentum returns because you focus on small, concrete actions. You saw how this applies to big decisions, relationships, late-night spirals, perfectionism, and daily habits. The real power is repetition, turning this from a concept into your default mental filter. Now it's your turn to use this, not just nod along. Think of one thing you've been overthinking this week. Got it? Pause the video if you need to. Now, out loud, or in the comments, answer. Is this within my control or just within my concern? Then write one small action you can take in the next 24 hours that lives firmly in the control side. That comment becomes your public commitment and might give someone else the exact example they need. If this video helped you, you'll probably benefit from more tools like this. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check out the videos linked on screen for deeper dives into decision-making, anxiety, and building calm focus. Remember, your mind will always offer you noise. You don't have to listen. Ask the question. Do your part. Let the rest be concern, not control. You're closer to mental quiet than you think.